Vorsprung Dirk technique.
Welcome back to Motor Addicts. Nick, Owen, Stu's filming, you know who we are. This is our budget build Audi TT, which, thanks to Maxpeedingrods, we have fitted a universal intercooler.
Have we done them justice? Actually, to be fair, I, amongst other people, have had involvement in fitting this. Maxpeedingrods probably would say, well, you could have done it a bit better, but the point was to make sure that it was efficient and that it worked.
The thing is, this is a universal kit, so this was intended across a multitude of platforms. Never really designed for this Audi TT, so there's always going to be some interesting edges and things to conquer and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you started off, you kicked it off with Mr. Hoy, who's excellent at manual labour. Yes. His hands never look like this.
Only if he fell over.
That's very true. Okay, so talk us through, what did you do to make it fit, so because when I turned up, there was already some stuff. What did you do?
The involvement I had, actually one of the first things, the distance between the aircon radiator and the crash bar here was, the distance wasn't big enough, particularly in the corners here.
I can see you've
massaged,
pinched,
adjusted.
Yeah.
Okay, we've adjusted that. Again, it's not neat. If you're going to do this for yourself, if you just wanted to throw it together for a track car, perfectly functional, this works. Yes, we could have taken the brackets off, chamfered the edges and had it painted and welded a box back in here, but really all we wanted to do is work.
Moving our way round, was that the end of that then?
Yeah, so Stu took the, I don't know if you had help taking the bumper off, I think. You've probably seen that clip.
I took the bumper off.
Yeah. Stu used tools, which, you know you've seen in caves, you've seen it like...
early primitive man.
Chip it. Anyway, he did that. And then I had a hand in like having the idea of how to mount the intercooler.
What, wonky? That was you, was it?
Yes, well, it was a Saturday afternoon. I had to get off.
You had to get,
no.
But
anyway,
sure,
the point is, it works, right? So we've mounted it. I used various types of fixings to get it mounted in place, but then we had some help from James. Is it the welder?
Yes, that's where I took over.
Yes.
So basically, you were lead. Was he lead or were you lead designer on everything?
Lead designer?
Yeah.
I don't think there was much design in.
Okay, fair enough.
There was no design, it was just get on.
I may be drazzing it up too much, but basically, so when I took over, I went here for another Saturday. You were off doing big stock things and racing, I think, actually. Yes. Yeah, big stock things. And me and Stu, with James, mocked up where this could go. Obviously, there are some interesting bits that need to still happen for lights to fit in there, because we still want this thing road legal, don't we?
Ideally.
We want to give it a mott, and then we want to give it a bit of a thrashing on the road and another draggy, but we'll get round to that eventually. Yeah. So James then helped us mock up this piping, do some alley welding, which everyone's terrified about apparently. I don't know much about welding, but apparently that's hard work. But he did a really good job of it.
It's neat.
We had to hold stuff, and it got very hot when we were holding the...
And that's as much as you know about alley welding.
Yeah, and don't look at as much as you want to. You do not look at that light.
It's very pretty though.
Isn't it though?
You've got to be honest.
You go full moth. And then Stu bought some Mishimoto step downs. That's a 3 to a 2, a 2, a 2.5?
2.5.
2.5. And then some coupling bits here. Then it was done.
To be honest, I would say I've fitted a lot of intercoolers in my time, and normally, quite often with an intercooler that's intended for the car that it's going on, involves a lot more messing around than what this did, and this was universal kit. So if you've got an Audi S3 or a TT, four-wheel drive one, with a similar setup, if you buy a universal kit
from Maxpeedingrods, you know,
I think they give you enough pipework, as you saw in the video when we unwrapped it.
Over. Yeah.
Tons of it. So there is enough there. I think the only thing we had to buy was the juicer.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you don't have to, if you're on a budget or you haven't got loads of money to go buying, I don't know what, AirTech or something. Not that there's anything against them, but they're very expensive. You can do it with this, and then this intercooler is rated for whatever the engine can make. So
well, we're future-proofing ourselves because this is already a 3-inch pipe.
Yep.
So then we can just continue that all the way through, and then it's jobs are good. We can then max power.
Yep.
And then Maxpeedingrods, bosh.
Bigger turbo, built the engine, and then if we get 450, 500 horsepower, that's the target.
That's the target, yeah.
The intercooler's capable of doing that.
So there you go. You can definitely buy a Maxpeedingrods intercooler for less than 100 quid, was it, Stu?
Well, the intercooler was 92 quid.
And what was the coupling?
The fitting kit was 104, 105. But I'll put the links in the description anyway.
Okay.
No, in the YouTube.
But
so then your extra bits you bought, you're talking 20 quid?
so the Mishimotos they were £11 each off of Amazon.
So we're saying 240 quid, something like that?
Yeah. And you got an intercooler which would have potentially cost you 800 quid.
Yeah.
And if you were to do this in an afternoon, it's probably doable. If you were really I'm going to do that. Yeah.
If you're dedicated, you can get it. All you need is time.
And a welder.
And a welder, yes. An alley welder for your pipes.
And that's
But what's the plan with it now?
Dyno. So we're super excited to team up with a local dyno called Road Rage Performance.
Yep.
A nice guy there called Leon.
Yep.
Thank you. And he's going to take us up on our opportunity to do a flat run on this. All right, we've got the intercooler on, but that shouldn't make too much gains. And then we're going to see how it produces, and then kind of maybe work on a relationship where we keep coming back if we do mods.
Yeah, he's a local guy, and he owns his own company. He's
young lad as well. He's 24.
24 years old. Very smart.
I saw his bloody LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. No, I've spoken to him, and he seems like he's a very smart guy, and I'm looking forward to working with him loads.
Cool.
Yeah.
So next time you will see this car, it will be on a dyno, getting a base dyno,
Seeing if it's healthy,
and seeing how it runs.
Look, he's done. That's he's on his
manual
third,
labour in the sun, which is like the worst conditions for him.
I bet he's beading already. I bet you anyway.
So
we're
down here because
we're Road Rage Performance because
Leon is going to take the TT.
Yes, but this is like the first. So the TT is absolutely bone rock stock, aside from the
2 smoking barrels.
That's a poor joke. Apart from the Maxpeedingrods Intercooler, which we put on, which did go on far easier.
You weren't there.
I fitted it.
You fitted the brackets badly, off-centered.
Yeah, well, it was an art.
You were in a hurry.
I was in a hurry. Yeah.
You said
right.
He dumped you in. He said you were in an hour.
Thanks for that, Stu. And so we basically. That's the only modification it's got on it. So what we want to see is if it came out of the factory, 225 horsepower?
225, I reckon.
Yeah. So even if it's close to that,
it's done well.
That's still good. It's super old.
What age is it? 2000 plate.
Yeah. What are you betting?
We should have some bets.
I'm saying because it's German.
Yeah.
225.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to take age into account. It's had a new cam belt, water pump.
He's dragged the hell out of it, and it didn't feel right afterwards. So I'm going to now adjust that.
No, you said it now.
Yeah, but I was still thinking.
It said cam belt, water pump, service, air filter, all that stuff, and that's got an intercooler.
220.
Okay. I reckon he says 180. I reckon it's got 200 in there. See what happens.
We're about 20 between us all.
Yeah, I reckon so. I think that's like fair.
So 200. I'm saying 220, and Stu's saying 180.
I think that's being fair to the car.
Okay. Do you run me over? I know the brakes aren't very good.
They're new.
Oh, yeah. I actually thought that just fell off there, but it's Owen.
He falls off. We're going to have to send. We need
Someone.
fuel.
Well, we need
it is like minus fuel.
We need a jerry can, don't we?
You need to put the petrol in.
Oh, I drove all the way here and you want me to put the petrol
I just took the thing off. Nick's done nothing yet, so you go and put the petrol
in. There we go.
What am I doing now?
Put the petrol in.
Put the petrol in an Audi.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm going to put petrol in an Audi.
No.
Funnily enough.
Funnily enough.
No, don't give him a funnel.
Last time we did this, I lost most of the hair on my hand because we weren't very good at doing that, so I would love a funnel.
This is the only funnel I've got.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fine.
He must think this is the right fucking shit show. You turn up with no car,
I'm going to tell you.
off him, stroke his little fluffy thing.
There's an oil in it or something.
I don't think that's going to matter.
It don't matter. It's budget, isn't it?
How do I? I mean, why is it so far over?
Just do it.
Why is that so far over?
Just put it in.
It's going to go everywhere. Have you got any spill rags? This is going to go everywhere. Why is it so far over?
He's
Come on, just get on with it, will you?
Okay, you ready? You ready?
It's a boat tank, it's not supposed to be empty.
No. That's it. But by being younger,
Nick,
Does it go on the floor?
everywhere.
it jumped about 6 years on the typical age.
What are you doing?
You're smashing it in the sense then that people are just
Give it a bit more of a turn.
Yeah, but then it goes, doesn't it?
That's it.
they're like, my business is only been around 2 years.
It's so heavy.
The brains of the operation's turned up now.
It's so heavy.
Bucket underneath or something.
I think he's actually coming out the fuel tank.
It's incredibly heavy.
Well done. Well
There
done.
we go.
This is the admin girl.
Yeah. The admin girl.
Is any of that gone in? I feel I was somewhat hindered by the objects I was given. if I'm honest.
Right, anyway,
makes me want to have a wee now.
Quite happy with that.
Well, other than the fact I need a wee now because
Okay,
I'm pouring water.
Are you happy with the amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
I must do the whole thing.
Well, I'm going to send this now. I'm not going to bother recording you anymore.
One of the finest automobiles has ever been in here.
Just said this is so nice.
You want to swap for the Paul?
He said it's so nice. So he said
It's such a lovely car.
it's
got some battle scars, isn't it?
Lying, ain't you?
Look at it.
Thing is,
The moment of truth.
from here, it still looks terrible. That's the good thing about it. That's what I like about it.
It looks terrible. No, a lot of people say it's a 20-yard car, don't they? The Americans. Yeah. It's a 20-yard car. The paint job's not fantastic. Like, you could stand over the other end of that yard and it would still look like shit.
This is where it looks its best.
What, facing the other way?
Yeah. When I'm facing this way, it looks really good. But we knock it.
It has
it's £100 worth of car.
It's a £100 car that's turbo and four-wheel drive, and it's made by Volkswagen.
What could go wrong?
Many
We'll
things.
find
We're
out,
just
won't
going to
we?
find
We'll
out.
find
More
out.
on that story later.
Yeah. Who said 220?
Alright.
If these leaves catch fire, by the way, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Okay.
Yes.
The leaves catch fire.
Watch the leaves. That's the first thing. When you go for a dyno, check your leaves. Make sure you got none.
And make sure you don't leaf any power out.
Oh, no.
See you then. All the best. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going. See ya.
Although that made like alright power, I wouldn't be tuning it.
No.
Look what happens at 5k. It just goes.
It falls on
whack.
its nose.
It shits itself.
And so, is that down to intake tempo? Have you seen
That's not
something
normal.
really obvious?
No, that's not normal.
It's not normal.
Is it preserving itself, do you think? Is it knocking back the timing or something?
You'd have an engine light.
No mill light.
Well, I can see.
It is old, does it?
The
Does it?
RPM is well off. So when I was at, put it this way, I could be at 3k on the engine. That reads 4. The gauge is like totally off.
It's been stationary too long, isn't it? Takes too long to get going again.
But
It's knocking the rust off.
Dust is up and
pretty
built
solid,
up.
like,
I can't believe it's made the
that's
at
bang on stop.
5k.
307 newton meters.
Yeah. And where should it make peak power on a stock engine? About 5?
Well, they normally, yeah, around 5, but that would hold. You'd see it sort of. They do drop off anyway, but it wouldn't. You can feel that it just.
It's
goes,
falling away, yeah.
Shits itself.
I'm surprised.
Oh, do you know what? I'm well chuffed about that.
I'm
220 right
surprised to look at
off the
this.
bat. That's fucking alright, isn't it? Considering, I mean, it's £100 car.
Yeah.
Well, the German engineering car.
Hang on about the Germans.
The German, oh yeah, it's been left on a driveway for how long? 8 years?
8 years.
And then we got it, put a cam belt on it, threw an intercooler on it and a water pump, and then did nothing else, and it still made pretty much the same power it came out of the factory is. So that's not bad. Most cars, if it was French or Italian, it wouldn't have even got here on the back of a trailer.
French.
If it'd been sat for 8 years, it would. Yeah, the French stuff just does not.
Mine's
last.
alright.
Gee, thanks for that. No, so actually, we're going to see if this happens, right? So, as you can see earlier, quick rundown. We put it on the dyno. We just ran it straight away, see what happens. And it made 219 off the bat, which is 4 horsepower down than what it should have made like 20 years ago, something like that. I tried my luck and asked if this nice guy would actually mind putting a tune on it. Because what we've seen with the KO4 Turbo, what it looks like is we put such a big intercooler on it. Maxpeedingrods have done a great job in providing us with a piece of equipment that's good for something that far exceeds the power that this is making or could make. But the turbo is probably not working hard, or is able to work harder to make more power. So now we've got the intercooler on there. Actually, I've wangled it, so we might be able to get a stage 1 tune on it. While we're here, may as well just see it. And and he's actually said, yeah, he's going to do that. So he's going to put a stage 1 tune on it, and just see what happens. We might leave here with 30 more horsepower than when we came with. I wasn't expecting that, but if we do, then happy days.
TT and find a new budget build.
I think it's going to hold together. I think we need to take bets. I think we'll put a tune on it and make some more power, and it's going to stay in one piece because it did it then, and it's going to be all right now. That's what I've got faith in the Audi.
Well, let's see if it does it.
Vorsprung Dirk technique. There's one or two things that's going to happen here.
Shit itself.
Yeah, it's either going to go and into like we're going to
a million pieces.
Yeah, we're going to have like a shower.
Ghost, then. You look like I was.
You were like right in my personal space. So it's either going to go bang or it's going to make more pound than it did. He's been so good in actually putting a tune on it with it tonight. I think we're actually pulling him out of time because he's due to go home. But he's been so good to like keep us.
No watch there.
Yeah, he's been so good to. No, that's from the weekend. He's been so good to actually give us time to put a stage 1 tune on this. I just got a whisper from earlier. Went done. Stage 1 now. So we're going to tune it again. See what happens. How good is that though? How good is that though?
If it dies,
Can't
it
wait.
dies.
If he dies, he dies. Right. Made another. Made another 10 horse. 231. Hang on, but it made a lot more torque. Look at that. Maybe. I think it's made a lot more torque than horsepower.
Oh, okay.
That's my guess.
That there is a near 80 horsepower jump. From 5k to red line.
Wow. That's where it was dropping off.
Yeah, and same here. Let's clear that up in a sec. But you can see it's, I don't know, 3.5k was making just over 120 wheel. We're now making nearly 180 wheel. So that's huge. So even like, so the peak number is this part here. On the stock tune, that was where you peaked, and it's for that long. You're now making your peak this fucking long.
Right. Wow.
So that would be a totally different car. Get the draggy out.
And this. There's another thing. So am I to assume that it's this is a torque number?
It's made 70 newton meters.
It's making 70 newton meters
That's
more than what it was.
Yes, it's the same story with the torque because see this chunk.
Yeah.
And even there, it just. Yeah, it's good. I'll clear that graph up. You can see that when I clear it.
Yeah. Woo! I think he's already summarised it. He's just clearing the map up at the moment. He's clearing the graph up at the moment. So overall, the way I see it, we've made 5 horsepower more than what we did. However, it's made. Let's just go to the graph. Look at this. Right?
It made more than 5.
It's made peak power. Our peak power was this one here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was our peak power previously. So we're up on our peak power previously, but it made peak power for a window of what, 200 RPMs? Something like that, and then dropped off. Now, it's getting up there at 4,000 RPM. It's getting up to near and off the peak power and staying solid all the way across. And we've got a gap at the top end at like maximum RPM of nearly 100 horsepower. So that's going to make it far more drivable. It would have been really peaky where it was, so it would have sort of started to nose over and felt a bit flat. But now it's going to accelerate really hard up to 4,000 RPM, and then it's going to keep accelerating with a good power, like with a good distribution of power right to the red line, and it's making another 70 newton meters of torque over what it did do 305, 307. Making another peak torque is 370 newton meters, which is way more than what it was.
What was the brake horsepower on that one? 231.
That was 231.
So it made 12 horsepower. So
it's still made 12 horsepower.
That, but it's more.
But
than
it's
the
more
delivery
than
of it.
that.
More
It's
delivery,
just
yeah.
gonna-
It made okay, yeah. So it made like 214 crank, but for 200 RPMs before. It's making more power throughout the whole rev range after 4,000 RPM. So overall, drivability-wise, it's going to be so much more fun to drive if we'd have left it as it was. So
Just found why it didn't make like 250.
yeah.
All right.
It's because it drops off boost. So I'm requesting 1.5 bar out of this. By the time we get to about 4.5k, you can see my request boost just holds solid to red line,
Yeah.
and it drops off, and the N75 starts trying to add more and more boost to get to target.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, it's at like 100% duty trying to get to that boost target, and it just fucks off, it drops off. So I think it's struggling to keep that full, like I said earlier. It's doing the same thing it done on the stock map, except we've managed to get enough boost in it to make a good power curve.
Yeah. So it's making up. Basically, it's making up for the size of the intercooler.
Yeah, I reckon so. That's a big ass jump up top.
Okay, so there you go. We've gained, we've driven. He's a boy, isn't he?
See you later, Liam.
So mega thanks to Leon. Awesome guy. Spent time with the car tonight. Spent time with us. Didn't even anticipate that to start with, but was like, do you know what? You're here. Let's do it. Let's get the car quicker. And yeah, mad gains.
The fact,
good stuff.
Really good gains. It was really interesting talking to him. I wanted to do a bit of an interview with him and talk because we didn't want to keep him here for any longer. It's quite late in the evening, but he's a really interesting guy, and he's in a good position in life to accelerate in business, and I like that idea. I mean, it's very admirable. But more to the point, the car made more power throughout the rev range.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself. And,
we're just summarising what's happened this evening.
Yeah, and he's on a tangent.
The Audi's quicker. Leon's a bloody good guy.
nice bloke.
And
nice bloke.
yeah, we're coming home without a blown Audi, so that means more content for you guys.
Yes.
So we've now got a stage 1 map. We've got the intercooler. It did blow a boost pipe. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just a quick, and then sorted. So
Draggy next time.
Draggy next time to actually determine what the difference is.
What the improvement is.
Yeah. And then what do you want to see next? I mean, we've got some plans for it, but we'd like your input as well. So comment below in kind of what you want to see next.
It's a bit shit though, isn't it?
What?
TT. But we're going to send it.
What?
If shit, but if we send it, don't we?
It's £100. We're going into an argument. We're going on a tangent. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you for watching. Good night. New York.
Look at me, I'm on. Look at me, I'm on. Look at me, I'm on.